So you've got the Luta Libre tattoo on your shoulder, and there was a huge rivalry, obviously, involving them. Did you ever get dragged into that war? Like with the Gracies or Luta Libre? I mean, you're wearing it on your shoulder.
Yeah, Luta Libre, man. Yeah, that turned into a little bit of an issue with me when I had in 2000 and at about the same time, Storm Samurai, I had been in touch with Joinha Guimarães, Jorge Guimarães. He sort of was trying to look after me, right? He's trying to give me fights. He's trying to look after me. And, he wasn't trying to. He had he had asked me to come to Rio to be part of Black House. And so I took him up on it. Because he had put on these shows back in the day in Brazil, Mecca World Vale Tudo. So he was a promoter of Mecca World Vale Tudo together with Rudimar. And so he started the Mecca promotion and then the Storm Samurai promotion, Joinha started the Mecca promotion and would televise the Storm Samurai and all the national promotions. But anyways, he was somebody that was very well connected, and he was taking care of Vitor Belfort and a bunch of the Nogueira twins and Pride and a bunch of people. But he's a television personality here in Brazil on Sport TV. So he's had a little half-hour weekly Vale Tudo show called Passando a Guarda, Passing the Guard, for many years from the late 90s in Brazil. And so Joinha, we'd been in touch like ever since I fought Mecca World Vale Tudo. And then after I fought Marlon, he reached out. He's like, hey, I guess that, let him know I was alive still or whatever. And he's like, hey, why don't you come down and be part of Black House? I've got this place called Black House. It's like, all right, cool. And so I was actually one of the first guys to go down, be part of the Black House in Rio, which was nothing more. Freaking Black House was nothing more than a house that freaking Joinha was renting across the Avenida Atlântica from the freaking X gym, which was Rogério Camões' gym, Pump Iron gym. Mm-hmm. And down in the second or in the sub solo, the second floor underneath, they made fight space where they had a cage, a floor cage, and a little small ring and some mat space, and that was Black House. And Joanna was like, "Oh, you come and you stay at this house I've got. It's great, food and all this." Sure enough, show up, Rio. Carlo Prater picks me up at the airport, drives me freaking to the house in Barra da Tijuca. Well, actually, it's in Recreio, almost in Recreio, way out in the south part of Brazil, in Rio. Drops you off at this house, and all right, cool, this is Black House. You go in, there's like two Iraqi guys. They don't speak Portuguese. They're just nodding and smiling and nodding at each other. Mehdi Baghdad and I forget his other some guy. I forget his name. They were good fighters, good stand-up fighters though. And then Diego Nunes was there, and Diego Nunes from WC. He went on to fight WC and UFC later. Then there was also Michele Verganelli, this Italian cat from Italy, and he was doing the Vale Tudos down in Brazil. But anyways, it was us in this house, and it was like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, we're gonna go on down there. There's gonna be all this structure. The house didn't have shit. It didn't have like gas. It was just like the guys. I don't know how they were making it, man. There was no food. It was scary, man. But so I stayed for about 3 weeks, and I developed a skin infection on my. It wasn't a skin infection. It was a staph infection on my thigh. So I had to go to the hospital for that there in Rio. And then I just called up my dad, and I got a bus back to Brasilia. And I went back to Brasilia, and I finished up camp to fight that Art of War, which I was doing. I was going to do the whole camp at Black House, but I got that staph infection on my thigh. And so I just went to Brasilia and I finished up there for the last couple of weeks, and I went and fought that Art of War. But yeah, that was the story behind that. But at the time, freaking the Black House was this famed MMA gym. It was this little house out in this condominium, bunch of dudes, you know, bunk beds, farting. It was just like, oh man, it was so pitiful. But it, you know, at that time, there was this mystique that Anderson and Vitor Belfort are training in the same place, and freaking the Nogueira brothers are doing the jiu-jitsu training, and it's just, you get there, it's like, no, it was all us. It's like, so that didn't last. But then you know, over time, Joanna did the Black House. Now it's out in California, I guess. They got an actual gym out there, but
That's
little rough.
funny. So now, in the beginning of the interview, you talked a little bit about